Thanks for staying with us. Let's now take you through the front pages of Nigerian newspapers to see what the headlines will be this Wednesday morning and return for a quick analysis of some of the major stories we will be seeing. The Nation newspaper is opening the conversation this morning with economy. And we see right here, government moves to attract more foreign direct investment, exactly what we're looking for so that we can have more money in our pockets. But the Punch newspaper is highlighting something else at the state government's level. Check this out. Capital projects crumble as states cut spending. The writer here says governor cites insecurity, red tape for 2.7 trillion naira capital spending in 6 months and rising travel as well as wage bills. The South or the state governments are lagging behind in capital structure, considering the kind of money they receive. We'll talk about that. The Tribune newspaper is shining the spotlight on the on Osun funds. Yesterday, we saw the governor enjoying himself, and Olamide made a very wonderful comment about that. But the NBA is demanding immediate release of Osun LG funds. They've written to the AGF, the Attorney General of the Federation. We'll talk to you about that and more. This Nigeria is shining the light on EFCC probe this morning. The court is freezing ex-NNPCL boss Kyari's account over alleged fraud. We will see the last of that, hopefully. The Leadership, News Direct and Daily Times, let's begin with the Leadership. They are talking political rivalry this morning. We see right here, Amaechi's presidential bid dead on arrival, says Wike. We saw Wike yesterday talking about this. Maybe that's where this is coming from. The News Direct is also on the same line. Criticism must be genuine, not revenge for political disappointments. Wike warns ex-SGF, other critics. And the Daily Times is also coming on the same blow as well this morning. Trouble looms as Wike vows to stop PDP National Convention. Is that really the case? But the Blueprint newspaper shifts to the just concluded banter we just had on aviation. And we see right here from the Blueprint, NCAA goes tough. Others' mobile phones devices switched off during flight. Maybe we'll bring some more insights to that as we get on. But the Guardian newspaper is shining on health this morning, and it's a little bit sad, people. We see right here floods, lack of potable water, worsen cholera epidemic in 34 states. This is an alert. All states need to sit up to checkmate what is coming. The Hope newspaper is driving on something else this morning, and we see right here, federal government to enroll 500,000 out-of-school children. About time. And finally, on the sporting line, remember the story we discussed yesterday? It looks like some pieces brewing around the corner. Lookman returns to Atlanta training, but maybe, Etoma, we will return to the Nation newspaper for some economic talks this morning. The government is moving to attract more foreign direct investment. Remember, the president, just landed Japan. He's been doing this for quite a while now on this issue of investment. What do you think about this, Etoma?
I want to commend Mr. President, but that he's not just talking about Nigeria, he's talking about investing in Africa. That's in Japan. He's pushing Africa forward, not just Nigeria. And we in Nigeria, we really have to do something about the ease of doing business in this country. Have you tried registering a company lately? This is something that should take 2-3 hours, because everything is automated. But that's not the case here. What is the position of electricity that is the biggest catalyst for business growth, especially for small and medium-scale businesses? We are still lagging behind. Our generation is still very poor. We need to do or improve our ease of doing business situation in Nigeria. And then we also have to improve our infrastructure and take care of image issues that we'll be having in the country. If that happens, corruption has to go down. If that happens, we'll be having investments not just in the oil and gas sector, which is taking most of the FDIs right now. We'll have investments in other sectors.
You know, yesterday, this corruption matter, Ria raised it, and I said that is the motherboard of every other thing. But talking about that, Ibrahim, let me take you to the Punch newspaper, which is shining the spotlight on the performance by state government. What is the issue here? Money or corruption?
Yes, so they actually alleged, they adduced it to a whole lot of things. They said insecurity, red tapeism, etc. And you know that the removal of fuel subsidy and the naira to dollar exchange rate has also affected a whole lot of things. But what is the point of bringing up capital projects, voting capital projects to certain projects, and then you're not getting the results? You're underperforming. And we've always chided the governors of not doing the right thing when it comes to the kind of project they put on the ground and the misplaced priorities in terms of spendings that are not really well accounted for. But if they are now reducing this, if it's somehow one way or the other linked to the first story, which has to do with the governors coming together, 31 state governors coming together, and then bringing up Investopedia. That's one thing that will help people come into the state to invest in each of the states. So if they are cutting spending, that's what we've been asking for. Overbloated workforce, they need to work on it. And then the kind of monies that they vote for different projects, we must to see it. He talked about corruption. It is very, very key that we stamp it out as well.
That's like the number one thing.
I couldn't agree less. And Ria, Nigerian Tribune here has driven all the way to Osun State. They're demanding for the release of the LG funds right there. For a while now, the local government in Osun State is going through caretaker and the real guys. But see what the writer says. They're threatening legal actions against the federal government. Osun Traditional Council is seeking the president's intervention. Yeah. While, Ibrahim actually said something also yesterday. When documents come before the governor, the same way he's happy.
But before I even go into the Osun story, I'll just quickly talk about what we were speaking earlier on about the economy. When the president travels, oftentimes they're like, oh, he's traveling for fun. But I'll ask one question. If you do not go out, how can you get investment back? If you do not go out and speak positively about what you're doing in Nigeria, how do you get people to come and invest in Nigeria? And we cannot do it all alone. Without that investment, it's not possible. So I just needed to speak a bit on that. Now, talking about Osun, and that is something I give it to Governor Adeleke, and I'm not trying to support anybody here, but he's been paying civil servants from his own pocket. This is a true fact. That's what he's been doing. Now, the conversation is, why are we still holding this local government and autonomy? We've spoken about it a lot of times on this table. What is the reason? There was even a court rule that was given that, the money should be given directly to these people. What is going on? Who are the governors that are still holding back to make sure that these monies do not get to these people? And now they're saying they'll take legal action. I think it's high time, because the local government is really suffering if you look at it.
And Echoma, let me pin this on you as well. The local government is the closest to the people. They feel the first effect of non-delivery of dividends of democracy. Why then would we find it difficult to allow the local government to breathe to the point that the people can enjoy themselves?
Because the idea in the first place wasn't even the people. It wasn't even the people. If it were the people, anybody will jump at this opportunity. If our idea of ranking our governor's achievements is on how they affected the people positively, that would have encouraged the governors a whole lot. So we, the followers, also have an issue there. I think anything that has to do with the people, that has to do with money, that has to do with development, should go to the right place. Because, man, the level of hunger
in the land.
in the land is so much.
It's disheartening, actually.
Well,
You just need to go to any Nigerian village and you see
get to see
The
more.
grassroots, and I tell you, Thomas, is when you go to that grassroots that you really understand. Forget about Lagos, we don't really see what's happening, but go to the grassroots, you understand that these people are really not having it. I know, but I'm talking about, I know, but
We
I
have
know,
grass in the
Thomas, you
roots.
know what I'm talking about. Like, when
Yeah,
you
but
go
the
to those
Lagos
places,
grassroots
you
is
cannot still
the
compare
Lagos
it.
grassroots is refined.
Everybody here is hustling.
Everybody.
But Ibrahim, let me take you to this Nigeria. This matter of corruption. Corruption, yeah. The court is freezing ex-NNPCL's boss Mele Kyari's account over alleged fraud. See the rider. EFCC are alleging money laundering, abuse of office as inflows from NNPCL oil firms reportedly traced to personal accounts.
You know, back in the day, before the overhauling of the NNPC board, we used to say, I know that I'm used to saying that, you cannot mention NNPC and transparency in the same sentence.
Which is sad.
It's a paradox if you do that.
Oh boy.
And we've also been calling for the probe of the previous leadership of the NNPC. Because why should we be having turnaround maintenance, refineries, all of those budgets, all of those monies that we budgeted
Ibrahim,
for
don't
the
go there.
NNPC and all of that, and we are not getting any result for it. Now, this money is an allegation. They said there are 4 accounts that are linked to him. 2 directly in his name, 2 others proxies. One belonging to maybe a member of the family, and another also mentioned a name of a company, one of that. So these are the funnels of where monies are channeled through into their personal pockets. But it's an allegation. What we want the EFCC to do is to do proper investigation, and if anyone is found wanting in this, because it's a national patrimony, and if anyone is stealing us blind, we have to take the person to court and prosecute this
But
person.
I don't know why you should finish your investigation, have your red-clad evidence before you come to the public.
But it was not
That's
picked
what
up
I'm thinking.
immediately.
But I'm sure that there must be something,
yeah.
before they will go ahead and freeze his accounts. It's still an allegation, so I just hope that they're able to follow through and get to the end of it.
Sorry, that's it. Before you go to the next paper, I'm saying, why is it only just one bank and only 4 accounts? But he has other accounts.
Well, I mean,
freeze everything.
We don't know.
It's an allegation, so...
Oh yes, it's an allegation under investigation. So constitutionally,
That's
you
right.
can freeze everything and do your investigation.
All right.
Maybe that bank has a lot more. You
The
can never tell.
leadership, News Direct, and the Daily Times are all talking political rivalry this morning. But I think we should hop on that of the leadership newspaper. We see right here, Amechi's presidential
Why
bid
do you come to me on that
dead
particular
on arrival. The minister of the FCT is talking tough.
But when it comes to Amechi has been in power for quite some time. So if this
Forever.
I don't want to say forever. Let me say for quite some time. So if this person wants to be president again, a lot of people would definitely ask questions as to what has been done. But Amechi came on TV about some months ago, and he spoke about his achievements, great things that he had done as governor. So everybody has the right to come and say they want to be president. At the end of the day, is what ideologies are you bringing out? Do you want to be president out of desperation? And for somebody like Amechi, who has been in power for a very long time, people expect more. There'll be a lot of questions being asked. Now, I know that I know they used to be friends before. He's saying dead on arrival. I read that and I'm like, well, we just have to keep our fingers crossed to see what happens. But when it comes to Amechi, I think that he has to do a lot to prove to Nigerians, being that he is someone that has been in power for quite some time.
What any of those people are coming to do this time round that they ought to have done when they've been
Ibrahim,
perpetuating
you
their
should add
position.
this to that on the Daily Times. Wike is vowing. Did he actually vow to stop the PDP National Convention?
Yes.
That is his baby.
Well, he's saying that he is a member of NEC and then he's not aware of any convention coming up. And then the PDP, some of the members are saying that, listen, that we already have our plans, mapped out, and nothing is going to stop it. So Wike is saying that as a member of NEC, I should be aware, I should know exactly what we want to do. And then, come November, whatever it is that's going to happen, he's not saying he's going to scuttle it, but maybe he's not going to hold. And we know his stance. Yeah. He's saying that the party must respect the constitution of the party, the national constitution, and anything they want to do has to be in the interest of the nation.
You know, when it comes to Wike, when it has to be in respecting some of these laid down rules, he's a stickler to that, so you can't win him on that.
That's it. His mantra.
Exactly. The Blueprint newspaper is highlighting the matter of the aviation. I think we've spoken about that. So if you don't mind, let's move to the Guardian newspaper, Etoma, this morning. Cholera is being warned across different states in the country. They say here, flood and lack of potable water worsen cholera epidemic in different states. We should all sit up.
Definitely.
You see, potable water is, to me, I think it is a right of the citizens to have good drinking water.
It's just water, for God's sake.
Not privilege, right, to have good drinking water, because anybody knows that there's a myriad of ailments that could come because potable water is not available.
That's right.
And now with the climate change and everything, it is worsened by flood. And for the first time, we're really seeing heavy flooding in Nigeria. And that is doing a lot of damage to the health infrastructure in the country, which is shaky as it is right now. Have you seen somebody suffering from cholera? I have.
It's not a good sight, actually.
I have. And 34 states are being warned, not just warned, that cholera is already there in 34 states.
That's right.
It's like taking us back to the Civil War era.
That's a sad one.
So this, for me, is an emergency.
A big one, very big
I
emergency.
expect the government to do everything possible to arrest this, because it is bad.
Clean water is your right.
The saddest thing about it is that our children are the targets.
Indeed. And Ibrahim, on the Hope newspaper, which is, I think, one of the ways to educate ourselves, the federal government, planning to enroll 500,000 out of school children. If we are all educated, we can tell the difference between bad and good water. I'm just making it very simple.
No, I don't think you need education to know that this water is bad, this water is good. It's just your own innate ability to be able to do that. Because of course, you'll see if water is murky and if it's clean, you will see.
Yeah.
But you may not be able to tell using science. But all the thing is that I think we have over 20 million out of school children. So this is just a tip of the iceberg.
Oh boy.
And it's one way to start. If the federal government is doing this, what are the states governments
also
doing in terms of enrolling people into different schools and ensuring that we do not have nuisance on our streets?
And just to add to that, when I hear school, I'm very passionate about it, because for even the economy to be stable, we need, people that are qualified, that have gone to school. Education is key. Education is a right for, every child. So when I see news like this, I hope to see more. Like he said, this is just a scratch on the surface. There's still a whole lot more. And to find out that children are not in school, what is the reason? Why shouldn't they be in school? Why are they not learning to make Nigeria better?
Ria, there's a whole lot into that.
Sorry, let me butt in again before you go to the next paper. The federal government is doing the big brother thing here, because actually it is the forte of the state governments to ensure that they don't have out of school children. And since the state governments are not doing something tangible about it, the federal government is leading the way. So I would advise state governors to lash on this and say, hey, this is not what the federal government should have done. This is my business that the federal government is doing. Let me wipe the shame off my face and say that in Cross River State, for example, we don't have out-of-school children.
At all, we don't. And we don't want to have any one of that. But Ria and Ibrahim, the Sporting Live this morning, the story we had yesterday on the same gentleman, Lukman here, there seemed to be some little scuttle between him and the newly appointed coach of his team now. However, we're seeing that he's returning to Atlanta for training. And the writer here says he is set to apologize over conduct.
Conduct, but what did he do? What conduct did he do that he has to apologize for?
Which is what,
So the question goes to Nelson or to Ibrahim.
If you're questioning what he did, if someone is saying that he's going to apologize, I think he must have, realized that he had erred on a side. But the fact that Inter Milan wanted it, what's it called? That is meant to be sold for, that's quote unquote,
for that
£50 million. And then a club that actually came up could not even reach the deal, so he has to just return to his of course his base. So, but one thing there is that everything has to be done right. But it is only he that can say
what he did.
I'm fine, I'm not fine, or whatever it is, I'll just have to take it the way it comes to me.
Well, let's hope that, Lukman, you would finally say you are fine so you can enjoy your game. But that's how far we can take you on the newspaper review segment this morning. Still to come on TVC Breakfast, we will shine a light on the anatomy of a loop app or a loan app scam and expose how Nigerians are being deceived. You don't want to miss that conversation after the break.